in November of 2001.
A solemn ceremony was held at the crash site in Belle Harbor, Queens, where a memorial to the 265 people who died in that plane crash stands. Mayor Bill de Blasio told family and friends the city will never forget.
Through our tears, we remember that one of our city's worst days also showed us our city at its best.
Investigators blame the crash on the tails plane detaching after a co-pilot responding to turbulence put stress on the rudder. Julie Walker, New York.
Send your tips and photos to yourstory@cjad.com. From the Dormehu Weather Center, clearing this afternoon, the high +3, clouds tonight, the low -3, and sunny early on tomorrow. Then some clouds will move in the morning, the high +3. It's 1 degree downtown. I'm Jason Mayoff. Next update, 1:30, breaking news as it happens. News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
Just when you thought it wouldn't get worse, even more closures. Our job is to tell you what's happening and how you can save time. And we do that every 15 minutes, 7 days a week. News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
Hello and welcome to the Real Estate Show. I'm Chantal Desjardins, and there's Terry Kalakos,
What's going on?
president of Northeast Mortgages and chartered mortgage broker. We're on the air, and we're also live on the Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you want to tune in there, apparently everything we say on the air and off the air is going to be there.
Yeah,
Exciting to be here.
absolutely. I'm excited as well. And you know what? As I was mentioning in the crossover, I tend to break stuff in the station
Like,
all
what do
the
you
time.
break?
I've broken the chair. I don't want to mention anything else because I'm gonna end
'Cause
up
they
getting
might
like a
charge
bill.
you.
But yeah, so we'll see.
Well, this is great.
Yeah.
I'm excited to delve into the world of mortgages and real estate and finance.
It's gonna be fun.
And here we go.
Yeah.
Terry and I have been friends for a long time off the air, and now we've decided to bring it to the airwaves.
Definitely.
So let's get her going.
All right,
Real
sounds
estate
good.
show, maybe a market update to start things off.
Yeah, I mean the big news when we're actually looking at what's going on with the real estate market is, last year, kind of at the tail end of when we got off the air on the real estate show, the government, OSFI, had started to implement a whole bunch of mortgage rule changes. That ended up causing chaos, if you will, in the market. Everything was kind of completely upside down. When the last set of mortgage rules came in, basically what ended up happening is it took out of the market a whole segment of the like there was like about 20 to 30% of the people that would have qualified for a mortgage now all of a sudden didn't.
Wow.
The average Canadian qualified for about $100 to $120,000 less on a mortgage, on an insured mortgage, than what they did previous to those rules coming in. Now moving into 2018, OSFI has released their final revisions, and they've basically it's three basic hits that they're doing to the market.
Right.
And the three hits are, first thing, they're going to be applying the stress tests. The stress tests are basically going to be forcing the banks and brokers and everyone to qualify mortgages at either the Bank of Canada rate, which is much higher than whatever the qualifying rate is of the contract rate that the person gets for the mortgage, or what they're going to be doing is they're going to be adding 2% to whatever the rate is. So for example, let's say your rate that you're going to be getting on your mortgage is, I don't know, 289, right?
Okay.
For a 5-year fixed. What they're going to do is they're going to go in and they're going to add 2% to that. So the rate would be 289 plus 2, so 489, and then they would qualify it on that. But if the Bank of Canada rate is higher, they'll take the higher of the two.
Right.
That's going to take out another 20% of the population.
Wow.
Okay, so that's going to be a hit. The other rules that came in more impact the banks. They're forcing the banks to look at the way that they calculate loan to values, so how much people are allowed to borrow versus what the value of the house is. And the other rule that they're going to be putting in place is going to be a change in the way that banks package loans together. So for example, let's say you're a lender and you have a limit. You say, I will not lend above 70% of the value of this home. But I have my friend here that's another lender that is willing to put in the other 10% for us to get together and give you 80. The new rules are preventing the banks from doing something like that. So the new rules are basically going to stop the banks from setting up loans together to circumvent their loan to value limits.
So now the government is hoping that this is going to cool down the real estate economy, right? That's the
Yeah.
whole idea behind this. Do you think it's actually going to work?
You know, unfortunately, when you look at the the overall kind of picture, right? All it's really doing is it's creating this vacuum in terms of homes being put on the market. Because, for example, let's say someone has a house that they were thinking about selling, and the price of the house is $400,000.
Okay.
And they were thinking, hey, you know what? We were going to sell this house, and we were going to end up buying something else down the line, or they were going to upgrade. They go to the bank, they go to their mortgage broker, they run the numbers, and they realize that they don't qualify for that upgrade anymore. So now they're actually being forced to stay in that house that they had. So now there's less listings going up
Right.
because people are not selling. Unfortunately, the ones that are being listed now are actually fetching a higher premium. So you end up having homes that would have sold for 200,000, now they're selling for 250,000. You have homes that are in the 300s which are selling within 72 hours, and this year was a nutty year, and that's what I was saying. It was kind of completely upside down. We would, on the real estate side, we would put up a listing, and the minute the listing would go up, within 48 hours it was sold. If it was priced anywhere between, let's say, 300 to 400,000.
Wow.
If it was from 400 to 450, it would take a couple of more days, but it would sell really fast because there's not enough inventory on the market. And what's causing this is, unfortunately, the government's new rules that they put in place.
Is it a good idea? Do you like that the new rules came into place? Like, for someone like me, if my buying power is going down, I mean, when I bought my condo through you,
Yeah.
I remember we went for coffee and I said, okay, I don't really know anything about mortgages.
Yeah.
Here's what I can do. Here's what I can afford. And I remember it almost seemed like I could buy way more than I should have been able to.
Yeah, I think that they went a little nuts. To be perfectly honest, I don't think that they should have gone this aggressive with the mortgage rule changes. Keep in mind, when you had purchased your condo, this is a number of years back, right? So the amortization periods were longer, rates were on their way down. It was a very different market back then.
Right.
There was a period of time where you used to be able to qualify for, you'd be able to go to 40 years amortization with zero money down. That's crazy.
Which is awesome, right?
It's awesome on one side. There's a
Right.
lot of people listening going, what's wrong with that? That's
I love
fantastic.
that.
It's not good.
Okay.
It's not good. On a side note, I mean, you don't want to go to 40 years, and not unless you're in Vancouver. If you're in Vancouver, okay, sure, go to 40 years because
Right.
the price of homes is so expensive. But in Montreal, people were kind of holding on to these mortgages for forever, right?
Now, how is this going to affect the average consumer that's looking to buy a home or getting a mortgage then?
So, like we were talking about, you're looking at about a 20% decrease,
Right.
right? Unfortunately, the other thing that it's going to cause is people that needed to refinance their homes so that they pay off, high interest credit card debt, so that they, I don't know, do investments, whatever they needed to refinance their home for. A lot of them are not going to qualify. And we've already seen it with the old rules, right? So once the rules changed last year, a lot of people were coming in, they needed to refinance their properties for whatever reason. It didn't work. Now with the new rules coming in, it's going to be even worse, right? So I think that, like I said, I think the government maybe listened to the wrong people. I'm not the type of, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, That's not what the real estate show's all
Right.
about.
I mean, we could be, but
yeah,
it's a different show.
Yeah, just go on my Facebook page when I rant about
Right.
random things.
I have seen the rants. I like the rants. I share the rants. They're my favorite part. So if someone's thinking of buying or refinancing a home, should they do it by January 1st? Like, are you about to get a whole bunch of people knocking down your doors?
It's already started.
It has, eh?
It has. Anyone that's literally been reading our blogs, they flood in. So they come in for refinance. We're actually in the process of calling all the people that have mortgages that are coming up for renewal in 2018 to find out if they're planning on doing any major changes in their mortgage. So if they're planning on refinancing, if they're planning on selling, if they're planning on buying something else, we're calling our clients to basically get them to come in early before December 31st,
Right.
so that the old rules apply. But it remains to be seen. We'll see what's going to happen next year. I think there's going to be a quiet period at the beginning of the year, and probably as we approach the summer, it'll probably end up being business as usual, but there'll probably be a couple of months of, you know, checking the phone. Is it working?
Yeah, like I imagine some people are starting to panic a little bit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I'm sure you're getting like, do you also have to play therapist right now? Or
All
you
the time.
Do you?
Yeah,
No,
all the
you
time.
don't.
All the time, all the time. I always tell people, if you flip my diplomas, I have two of them. Like, so I have my mortgage one. If you flip it, there's psychologist on the other side.
Well, I remember when I bought my condo, I was so nervous because it was my first big purchase
Sure, yeah.
on my own, and you literally had to talk me off the ledge.
Yeah.
So that's
I think we had lunch, we had dinner, we had coffee, we had like multiple meetings.
That was like the longest relationship I've had.
11:30 p.m. Am I doing the right thing? Yes.
You're listening to The Real Estate Show with Terry Kalakos, president of Northeast Mortgages and chartered mortgage broker. Go to northeastmortgages.ca, or you could call the office at 514-680-4674. Now, are we going to take some calls today?
Absolutely.
You want to take calls? You can ask anything, right? Anything about mortgages, real estate, finance, you name it. Terry will answer it. 790-0800. For now, let's head over to CJD Traffic with Kira Yeager.
Good afternoon. It is still a very decent ride. It's been extremely quiet out there today. So right now, in terms of delays, you only have a minor one on Décarie South in the top third and a very minor one on Décarie North in the very top end as well. I'm also seeing some volume on the 15 south from Turcotte out to Atwater, and that is because your ramps onto the eastbound Ville-Marie are shut down until tomorrow morning. They reopen at 5 Monday morning. If you are going to be exiting off at Atwater to get into town, I'm not seeing a major delay, and the Bonaventure Auto Route getting into town is very nice. Need sound financial advice? The Laurentian Bank has been helping its clients improve their financial health for over 171 years. Visit laurentianbank.ca and find out how easy it is. Traffic and transit every 15 minutes on CJD 800. Next report is at 1:30.
The gold standard in journalism. A Sunday night staple. 60 Minutes on your radio. Sunday night at 7. News Talk Radio. CJAD 800.
November 17th at Hotel Bonaventure, in celebration of the 100th anniversary of the National Hockey League, attend a unique event with NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman, the owner, president, and CEO of the Club de Hockey Canadien, Bell Center, and Evenco, Jeff Molson, plus NHL general managers and former players. Space is limited. Reserve now at ccmn.ca/NHL100. This proud international meeting activity, held through a partnership with Evenco, is a Chamber of Commerce of Metropolitan Montreal event.
You've already heard about the all-out clear-out at Editor Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram retail. What you may not know is they've upped the incentives with all-out special offers on the 2017 Dodge Grand Caravan. For a limited time, they're taking up to 30% off MSRP on select 2017 Dodge Grand Caravan inventory. That's up to $12,750 in cash discounts. Visit CaravanClearOut.com for details.
So many Quebecers suffer from back pain. The treatment left untreated can result in a loss of quality of life. The Quebec Chiropractors Association invites you to learn more. Visit chiropractic.com for more information about the practice. You can find tips and advice for daily activities and where you can find a chiropractor closest to you. Make it a priority to prevent injuries. Live your life to the fullest. Change changes everything. Chiropractic care changes pain.
This weekend only, Beloy Mountain opens up its central 600,000 square foot warehouse for its mega warehouse sale. The best brands of furniture, mattresses, appliances, and electronics are offered at liquidation prices. And with the VM plan, you can pay up to 50 interest-free payments. And delivery is available 7 days a week. The Beloy Mountain mega warehouse sale this weekend only. 8600 Place Mariette, Montreal East, exit 83 or 85 on the Highway 40. New, discontinued lines and store models. Details at the warehouse.
I do love our theme music.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to lighten it up a little bit.
Feels like we're in a jazz club.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the Real Estate Show. And
Up
jazz
next.
up next. Soft trombone. I don't know where that came from. I'm Chantal Desjardins along with Terry Kalakos, president of Northeast Mortgages and Chartered Mortgage Broker. We have Marav, Terry's better half, who's handling all of our tech, which means we're live on the Facebook. So even off the air, if you go to Terry, if you go to Northeast Mortgages Facebook, we're doing totally terrible things off the air that I just found out are now streaming live.
Yeah.
So once again, if you have any questions for Terry, text 514-800 or call in at 790-0800, and he'll answer anything, is what he said.
Anything.
Anything.
Including about my hair.
There's no hair.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. So your blog, I love when you rant. Your rants are some of my favorite things on the Facebooks and the blogs.
Yeah. You know what? It's yeah.
Does it just come out? Is it like a straight, like, do you,
it does.
Okay.
It does,
I think I feel like it just comes out.
I did my the last blog I did. I think I put it up on Thursday, and one of the brokers in the office, he was passing by, and he goes, "Oh, what are you doing? Are you putting up one of your blogs?" And I was like, "Yeah." So he comes up to it, and he starts reading it, and he's like, "Oh, like, he's like, really? You're gonna say that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" And he's like, "Okay."
It's good. It's like, it's real.
Maybe like tone it down a little bit. And I'm like,
no, don't tone it. Tone it up.
Oh, no.
Tone it up. Yeah. So your last article was on how important it is to use a mortgage broker rather than a bank for your mortgage. Why is that, Terry?
So, sorry, I was reading,
I saw you distracted. You were like.
Just to say, you said it before. I'm going to be reading questions that are coming in on Facebook. Please ask me again. I completely didn't hear what you said.
Okay. Marav and I told you ahead of time. Terry's like, I can handle being on air and reading all the comments on Facebook Live. Yeah. And both of us are like, zero chance. One, you're a man. And two, you can't multitask.
That's true.
So I'll ask it a second time, unless it was a good one that you want to read.
Actually, it was from Stephen when he actually asks, what is holding back prices on the North Shore? Lorraine and Rosemere properties over 700,000 have been depressed for over 2 years.
Well, Stephen.
Yeah, very good question. So if we're looking at, again, some of the changes that have come in, right? The minute you surpass $500,000 in a mortgage, now all of a sudden the down payment goes up. So I'll give you a simple example. Let's say you buy a property for $500,000. You're buying at $500,000. What's going to end up happening is your minimum down payment is 5%. By the way, a lot of people that come to see us, they think that you need to put a larger down payment than 5%. You don't. Mm-hmm. It's not 20%.
Yeah, because I always thought before meeting you that you're supposed to put as much as possible.
You don't. 5% is the minimum, as long as you're buying up to 500,000. The minute you surpass 500, now on any dollar that's above that $500,000 mark, you have to put 10%. So for example, let's say you're buying a property at $750,000. What ends up happening is you hit that $500,000 mark. So for that first 500, it's 5%, so that's $25,000. And then for the next chunk of $250,000, you need to put 10%. So now all of a sudden the down payments have gone up. The stress tests have come in, which now is basically reducing people's buying power by at 20, 30, in some cases 40% of what they were able to buy before.
So crazy.
And so that's why you have areas like the North Shore where they end up having these depressed properties, right? But it'll come back. I mean, a friend of mine who I see he's actually listening had told me once.
What's his name?
Ofer. So he was basically saying that buying real estate, he's a real estate investor, by the way, buying real estate is like getting a haircut, right? You can have a good deal or a bad deal, or you can have a good haircut or a bad haircut, but it'll always grow out, right?
Will yours always grow out?
It does grow out, yes. Yeah.
Oh, does it?
Yeah,
I thought this was like a...
No, it grows.
Oh, okay. This is just a look. It's a look. I like it.
Except the top part. The top part doesn't grow. But you know what they say?
What do they say?
Terry? Grass doesn't grow on a busy street.
So your head is busy?
Well, yeah, exactly.
It's a busy head?
We're not getting into this. My wife is cracking up. So.
Okay, so using a mortgage broker, this is what I started to ask before Stephen on Facebook Live took your attention, rather than a bank for your mortgage.
Yes.
Why?
Okay, so It's like, think of it like this, right? You go to a bank. Banks are great. Ultimately, when you're coming to a mortgage broker, you are going to get your mortgage through a financial institution, right? So you're going to get it from a bank, you're going to get it from a virtual lender, you get it from an insurance company. When you go to a bank, the only products that they have is whatever they are told to sell, right? So
Right.
when you go to Bank ABC, if Bank ABC has a shortage on lines of credit that week, you're going to get lines of credit pushed on you. Plus, when you're going to a bank, unfortunately, 9 times out of 10, you're being it's a salesperson that's basically selling you
I
something.
hate that.
Well, yeah,
You
and
know, like someone like me walking into something, having no idea if they have your best, and they usually don't have your best interest at heart, right?
exactly. So when you think about a mortgage broker is actually a professional, right? So we have errors and omissions insurance. It would be like saying I'm going to go, I don't know, to the guy down the street who runs, I don't know, a dépanneur to ask him legal questions as opposed to going to a lawyer.
Right.
Like you go to a lawyer for
Yeah.
your legal questions, right? Just like you go to an accountant. Well, it's the same thing. Whenever you need to do something about your mortgage, you go to a professional. And that's where we come in. That's the fundamental difference between the two. Plus, when you're dealing with a mortgage broker, it's your interest that we're looking out for. So if, for example, I'm able to get you 1% for a 5-year fix, I'm going to get you 1% for a 5-year fix because it's in my interest to make sure that you have the lowest rate, you have the best mortgage set up for your situation. That way you end up referring a ton of people to me and my business grows. Simple as that.
Yeah, that was the best part of dealing with you was I knew that you weren't selling me something. When I walk into a bank, I'm always, I love my banker, but I know that he's planting the seed for something that he's getting a cut on. Whereas you were like, you can just look at everything and you can give me the best thing for me.
That's it. And I mean, that's not to say that we don't get paid.
Right.
Obviously, we get paid for our services. The banks or the financial institutions or
Sure.
the insurance companies that we place the business through ultimately will give us a commission. But we will look at your actual situation and your mortgage or your life insurance or whatever we need to set up and say, hey, you know what? This is the best option for you. You have these other options as well, and you make an educated decision.
Now, is it really true that bank employees don't have a professional license and no liability insurance?
Yeah, they don't.
What?
They don't. People, I had recently a client that 3 years ago had come to see me, and I had given him some advice on which direction to take, and he had gotten some advice also from his local bank, which I won't mention the name.
No.
Okay. Long story short, 3 years later, he decides to sell this property. So he calls me and he's freaking out because the bank that he thought was on his side is now charging him a $20,000 penalty for breaking that mortgage.
Wow.
And he said, how much would have been the penalty if I would have gone with you? And I'm like, I don't know, like $2,000-3,000 bucks.
Crazy, eh?
You know.
Hindsight. Now you know.
Yeah,
now and now
absolutely.
everybody's going to know. For now, we're going to take a break. I'm Chantal Desjardins, Terry Kalakos, president of Northeast Mortgages and chartered mortgage broker, northeastmortgages.ca. You can call them at 514-680-4674, or you can call us and ask some questions at 790-0800 or text your questions to 514-800.
Thank you for making iHeartRadio the fastest downloaded app in Canadian history. Over 1 million downloads and counting. Download the iHeartRadio app today and experience your favorite music programming across multiple devices. For more information, go to iHeartRadio.ca.
Honey, we should go variable on our mortgage. We'll save more money.
I prefer the security of fixed payments. Let's call Terry Kalakos.
I'm Terry Kalakos. Deciding between a fixed or variable rate is an important decision. Whether you're purchasing your first home or renewing an existing mortgage, one appointment with me is like meeting with over 20 financial institutions. Let me help guide you. Call me today at 514-680-4674.
Let Terry Kalakos and his team of mortgage brokers with Northeast Mortgages help you. It's simple and it's free. Call 514-680-4674.
This is Rick Moffat for Litrosits Opticians. I've got a bone to pick with the Litrosits family. I've been a lifelong shopping curmudgeon. Hate shopping, but it's fun at Litrosits Opticians. I go there, try on the cool looks of Maui Jim. I'm on the beach already. Sporty look from Adidas, Nike. I'm game ready. Trust the Litrosits family. Rick Moffat for the family that's changed my vision for the best it can be. Litrosits Opticians, Décarie at Isabella. At Litrosits, you'll see.
Notre-Dame-des-Neiges Cemetery is built on memory and heritage. Nearly 1 million people have chosen Canada's largest cemetery as a final resting place. Why? Its counselors listen, talk, and help you make the right decision. In life's difficult moments, let Notre-Dame-des-Neiges Cemetery honor your loved ones, respecting your budget and family's peace of mind. For information and pre-arrangements, visit cimetière-notre-dame-des-neiges.ca. Notre-Dame-des-Neiges Cemetery, much more than a cemetery.
Germain-Larivière celebrates its 60th anniversary with incredible offers. If you're tired of old appliances, get discounts of up to 25% on Blomberg major appliances and savings of up to $2,500 on high-end appliances from Bertazzoni. What are you waiting for? Save big time on new appliances. It's a special way of saying thank you 60 times over. Saint-Hyacinthe, Laval, Quartier des 30.
Hey there, gorgeous. You handsome guy. You don't need to be a professional model to make your dreams come true. You just need to look like one. Bride and Groom magazine is looking for men and women, boys and girls, all ages and nationalities. Good-looking, photogenic people for photo shoots. No experience necessary. As long as the camera loves you, so will Bride and Groom magazine. Smile. Book an appointment now at 514-303-2900. That's 514-303-2900.
Good afternoon. It's 1:30. I'm Jason Mayoff. Here's what's making news right now. Someone has defaced the statue of Canada's first Prime Minister at Place du Canada. A video was posted to Facebook of the Sir John A. Macdonald statue being spray painted. The description of the video says, "Group of anonymous local anti-colonial, anti-racist, anti-capitalist activists successfully defaced monument to Canada's first Prime Minister." There's an anti-racism and anti-hate protest getting underway soon at Place Émilie-Gamelin near the Barrie-UQAM metro station. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is in the Philippines to try to strengthen Canada's economic ties to the 10-member ASEAN bloc. Trudeau is the first sitting Canadian Prime Minister to attend and the first to ever have been invited. And Environment Minister Catherine McKenna is in Bonn, Germany to attend the second week of COP23, the annual United Nations climate change talks. 2 years ago, the talks led to the Paris Climate Change Accord, and this time around, parties are working on the rules for how the accord will be implemented. For more news, including video of the defaced Sir John A. Macdonald statue, go to CJAD.com. From the CJAD 800 Traffic Center, here's Kira Yeager.
There is a delay right now. It's on the 15 South because of the ramp closures in the Turcotte interchange. It will slow you down from Turcotte to Atwater. If you are getting off at Atwater to go into town, I'm not seeing anything major in terms of delays. And that also applies to the Bonaventure Auto Route. If you're using that to get into town, it is a smooth ride. Décarie North and Décarie South are both busy in the top end. There's some minor volume as well in the east and westbound Metropolitan. During GMC's Black Friday event, get the 2018 Sierra at an irresistible price. Don't wait until pickups fly. By then, it'll be too late. Details at gmccanada.ca. Traffic and transit every 15 minutes on CJD 800. Your next report, 1:45.
From the Dormez-vous Weather Center, clearing this afternoon, the high +3, a few clouds tonight, the low -3, and sunny early on tomorrow, then some clouds will move in, the high +3. It is 1 degree downtown. Stay on top of the news and your favorite CJAD 800 shows wherever you are with the iHeart Radio app, totally free. Download it today. I'm Jason Mayoff. Next update, 2 o'clock, breaking news as it happens. News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
This newscast brought to you by Place des Arts presents Natalie McMaster and Donna Leahy, A Celtic Family Christmas, December 7th. Tickets at placedesarts.com.
You count on us. We count on you. Send your news tips, pictures, and video to your story at cjad.com. You could hear the results on the air or see them on our website because it's your city and we are your station. The voice of Montreal. News Talk Radio. CJAD 800.
Linen Chest, one of Canada's largest home fashion retailers, is now offering a 50% off all custom window coverings. Plus, get an extra $100 gift card for every $500 purchase of Hunter Douglas blinds, shades, and shutters. Take advantage now during their biggest sale of the year, and let our designers help you choose by calling their free shop at home service at 514-331-5260 or visit their website at linenchest.com. Linen Chest, home is who we are.
Hey there, car.
Oh, look, cold weather is here.
Guess you're shaking in your winter booties now, aren't you?
Not this year, cold weather. I'm in top shape. I just got $25 off a winter ready package from the experts at my Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac dealer.
Winter ready package?
Yep, synthetic oil change, complete multi-point inspection, including brakes and a tire rotation, for the best price ever. Which leaves you, my friend, out in the cold. Conditions apply. Details at mycertifiedservice.ca.
Environnement Electronique, 4914 Sherbrooke in Westmount, where the future is now. Don't get lost in the television dust of yesterday when you can view 4K TV, and that ain't the price. And take your viewing pleasure to the extreme. You won't believe the sharpness of 4K resolution via OLED, a leap beyond high def with the convenience of an even thinner screen. If this sounds too good to be true, see for yourself at the store where James, Al, and Dave will wow you with their smarts and a cash and carry price. Your number one home for all your video needs, Environnement Electronique at 4914 Sherbrooke in Westmount.
Come see what's happening at Cartier Cavendish. With their new coffee shop, salad bar, and hot yoga studio, Cartier Cavendish continues to grow along with the neighborhood. No need to stray too far to unwind, to eat well, or to work out. Everything you need for your family or home is here. Everything from fashion and beauty to life's essentials to health and entertainment. Get it all done in one place. And don't worry about your car. There's plenty of parking. Cartier Cavendish, where it's always been, in the heart of Côte Saint-Luc. CartierCavendish.com.
Tony Shoes on Green Avenue has all your footwear needs covered for fall and winter. Ladies from size 4 to 13, men's from 5 to 16, and kids of every size. Available in widths from narrow to extra wide. Keep warm in sheepskin-lined footwear. Don't slip in boots with grips, and be ready for the winter that's coming. Let our expert staff fit your family with boots from Boggs, Sorel, Pajar, Olang, Morel, Blondo, Blundstone, and UGG. From overshoes to slippers, we've got your size. Tony Shoes on Green Avenue in Westmount. Open from 8 daily, 11 to 4 Sundays, and TonyShoes.com.
Welcome back to the Jazz Show. I'm Chantal Desjardins. It's the real estate show, and that one cackle was Terry Kalakos, president of Northeast Mortgages and chartered mortgage broker, northeastmortgages.ca. Now, the texts and the Facebook messages are coming in fast and furious.
And
right?
I honestly, my wife was right. I can't keep up.
Terry promised us that he could both manage our Facebook Live chats and talk on the radio at the same time, but it turns out he cannot rub his stomach and pat his head at the same time.
I could so do that. There you go. Okay.
Well,
okay.
Not bad. Now, Marav is our tech guru over there, and she wants to be on the air. Is that what? No, they're shaking her head in a yes kind of no. Okay, so Terry, it's up to you then. Where do you want to start? We did get somebody asking about the top of the show, asking for the rule changes. So should we recap a little bit?
Yeah, actually, we posted one of my blogs in Facebook Live, so you could actually just read my blog post that I had posted. But when you actually, I mean, just to kind of summarize, the major impact, the major rule change that's coming in is going to be how the banks are going to be qualifying mortgages. And right now, uninsured mortgages, the banks are going to be are forced to basically qualify you on the Bank of Canada rate. So whatever your rate is, let's say you're getting 289, 279, regardless of whatever rate you're getting, the bank is forced to qualify you on the Bank of Canada rate, which is $4.99 currently. With the new rules, all mortgages, regardless of whether they're insured or whether they're conventional, are going to be qualified on either the Bank of Canada rate or 2% above your contract rate. So if you have a rate of $2.99, they add 2% to that, brings it up to $4.99. That's the rate that's used to qualify you. You get a rate of $3.29, add 2% to that, now they qualify you on that.
You're basically not going to be able to afford what you used to be able to buy.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's check out what, Facebook, text. What do you want? Where do you want to go?
The CJD text.
Let's do the CJD text. Do you want to do the property, the rental property in Huntsick?
Sure.
So, hello, we have a rental property in Huntsick, a threeplex, one main entrance. We're planning to put the property on the market in April 2018. With the new rules, would you recommend placing the property on the market now?
Yes, because there is going to be a slew of people coming into the market right now that need to see this property now. So once January 1st comes in, you're going to be eliminating a whole bunch of eyes, right? So yes, I do recommend that they put the property on the market now, and you can always put, if they don't want to move until April or May or June, whatever, they can always put a little bit of a little message on it that says occupation will only be next year.
Right. More questions can come in. Text 514-800, but send your name at the beginning so I can say, hey, it's Jenny. Because right now I'm just reading randoms. Like, here's just a phone number. My mortgage is up for renewal in June. I have $50,000 on my home equity line. For 4 renos, is it good to roll that debt into my mortgage? If so, should I go now to the bank or do I have to wait until June? Oh, thanks, Paulette. Paulette added her name at the end.
Okay, so my mortgage is up for renewal in June. I have $50,000 on my home equity line. 4 renos, is it good to roll it up into my mortgage? So, okay, definitely. You're going. I have to read.
I know. I like it. I like it.
Listen, my brain is only capable of handling.
We know that.
Okay.
We know
You
that.
said it at the beginning. I'm a
that,
guy.
Terry.
Anything you could do now, do now. Right? We don't know what's going to happen come January 1st. January 1st, and OSFI put in these rules. The ink hasn't even dried on them yet. Some banks are coming in and they're saying we're going to be doing this. Other banks are coming in and saying we're going to do that, right? So my advice to people, if you have something to do, you know that you're going to be doing something at some point at the beginning of 2018 anyways, do it now. You can always get it approved and get it set up and then only do the transition or whatever needs to be done later, right? So you can get your mortgages pre-approved. You can find the properties. You can get the mortgage actually approved and then only take possession in March, for example.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything on Facebook you want to touch on?
I wasn't on my Facebook now.
Oh, now you're off?
Yeah, now I was off.
This is the one time?
Okay, no, where are we? Do you know what the average percentage price premium would be for dwellings within 3 or 4 blocks at a metro station compared to others further away? Obviously, the closer you are to a metro station or to any public transit, the price of the property will be going up just because it's more convenient. Mind you, if you're right next to a metro station,
then it goes way down.
The price goes down.
No way!
Yes,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
because people don't want.
Well, there's a lot of traffic, and it's less desirable in some cases.
Oh, that's an interesting little tidbit. I feel like you should throw out more tidbits like that.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, before the break, we had talked about that bank employees don't have a professional license, no liability insurance, which is insane.
Yeah.
But at Northeast, everyone you deal with is licensed and has errors and emissions insurance.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of people out there also that kind of pretend they're mortgage brokers. I've seen posts on Facebook where you'll end up having mortgage specialists, and I use the
quotation.
Air quotes, okay, so you'll have the mortgage specialists who are basically pretending to be mortgage brokers. They're not. A mortgage broker, you have to understand, has access to every bank, to different products across different lenders, across different, like I said, insurance company. We deal with everyone, right? So because we deal with everyone, you end up getting a broader picture. You go to a mortgage specialist, it's a salesperson. Plain and simple.
That's just selling, say, the banks.
Exactly. Products.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so how do you kind of make yourself aware of who's legit and who's not? Just if you're dealing with a bank.
So dealing with a bank is one thing, dealing with a mortgage broker is another. But then there's these other people in the industry who have recently crept up, and they basically will put together a mortgage broker and a client, or they're going to put together a banker and a client, and they're going to expect to get remunerated for that by the client. if you approach a mortgage broker and the mortgage broker actually wants to charge you for the services that they're doing, look them up. Chances are they're not actually
Pretty
a
sketchy.
licensed mortgage broker.
Wow,
Okay,
eh?
really, really, really important. And I actually had someone come into my office this week because I had put a job post out, and he comes and he's like, "Listen," he's like, "I have a ton of clients, and I need to get mortgages for them, and I want to refer them to you." And I'm like, "Okay, who are you?"
Right.
And he says, "Well, I'm a mortgage broker." No, I looked you up. You're not a mortgage broker. You know, and he's like, "Well, you know, I broker transact." I said, "Did you go to school for it?" No. "Are you licensed for it?" No. "So you're not a broker. You're doing illegal brokerage." And it's.
And then he ran out of your office?
Yeah, and I was like, "Listen, man, like, no, get out."
Wow. So basically, for us, for the average person, you could just ask somebody, right? If they're
Are you
if they're
licensed?
licensed.
You can ask to see their actual OSC card, or you can go online to OSC's website and just type the person's name, and if they show up, great. If they don't, then you know they're not legit, or they might be suspended, which comes up really often. You end up having mortgage brokers who once had a license, and for one reason or another ended up losing it.
That is crazy. That's the whole seedy underworld
Yeah,
of,
absolutely.
of mortgage
There's
broking.
a lot of black market stuff happening.
Or you can just go to Northeast Mortgages
And
and
we're all licensed.
talk to Terry Kalakos. You can call them at 514-680-4674 with any of your questions after today's show. Or if you want to ask something live right now, you can call us at 790-0800 or text us at 514-800. It's the Real Estate Show with Terry Kalakos, the president of Northeast Mortgages and a chartered mortgage broker. And for now, we're going to take a little break. We're going to go see Kira Yeager at the CJD Traffic Center.
Good afternoon. I am actually seeing a slowdown occurring right now on the westbound Metropolitan. And I believe we have an issue. Yes, we do have an issue. So in the westbound Metropolitan ramp going onto Laurentian Autoroute northbound, there's a right lane accident, and that's going to slow you down because you are spilling over onto the westbound Met and you're backing up to Papineau. So right now from Papineau to the Laurentian Autoroute merge, it is going to slow you down. It's also going to slow you down on Décarie North from around Côte St. Catherine to the top end over on the 15 South. You're busy there from Sherbrooke out to De La Vérendrye. During GMC's Black Friday event, get the 2018 Sierra at an irresistible price. Don't wait until pickups fly. By then, it'll be too late. Details at gmccanada.ca. Traffic and transit every 15 minutes on CJD 800. Next report, 2 o'clock.
The CEO Series with Carl Moore. Invaluable insight from top business leaders. This week's guest, Greg Soretsky, CEO of WestJet.
You can never overestimate the impact of change on an organization, particularly one which has such a strong employee ownership. You know, we ended up putting this decision to fly a new regional airline, we put it to a vote.
The CEO Series, tonight at 8. News Talk Radio, CJAD 800 and CJAD.com.
Let's give it up for Sheldon, everybody.
Canada's #1 news show is on CTV Thursdays.
Let the learning begin.
Young Sheldon is this fall's big hit.
Hey, I'm smiling.
Young Sheldon, Thursday at 8:30 on CTV. Are you a smart, fast thrill seeker? Amazing Race Canada is looking for fearless candidates. Think you have what it takes? Yes! Or nominate your hero at CTV.ca/The Amazing Race Canada.
How Bell makes doing what you love better.
Nice phone, Jeff. What are you listening to? Oh, hey, I'm streaming a new podcast, The Entire History of Human Existence. Sounds long. Well, I'm almost done the Paleolithic era. Wow, only 200,000 years to go. You're not worried about going over your data plan? Nope.
Get access to Quebec's fastest and largest mobile network with 6 gigs of data for only $65 a month on eligible smartphones. Visit a Bell store or bell.ca/network for details. Bell, smartphone plans just got better.
Jay-Z 444 Tour, Bell Center, November 21st with special guest Vic Mensa. Tickets now on sale at 1-855-310-2525 or eventco.ca.
At Indigo Chapters and Kohl's, we've got the gifts you'll love to give.
And right now, earn Plum Points, you'll get 10 times more.
On now, it's our 10 times the Plum Points event, all weekend long.
10 times Plum Points on great gifts, online and in store.
In store and online, when you spend $40 or more, you'll earn 10 times the Plum Points. Exclusions apply. See indigo.ca for details.
Shop 24 hours a day at indigo.ca.
What's with the accent?
I'm off the Dorme duvet sale. It's on now. Down alternative duvets start at only $59. And Australian wool down duvets start at just $99. Their lowest advertised prices of the year.
So prices have really gone down under.
Way down. Australian wool down duvets combine the luxury of white down with the natural temperature regulating benefits of wool.
All right then, let's hop over to Dorme-Vu now. The sale ends soon.
Everyone should sleep well, Dorme-Vu.
Time to check your garage door, then call the Door Doctor. Trained, experienced, professional. The Door Doctor is all about doors 24/7 with linear door operators, including ultra-quiet LDC 0800. Call the Door Doctor, 514-631-3130.
Get your Black Friday discounts all in one place. Shopeco.ca with hundreds of money-saving certificates. Save 50%. Pay just $25 for a thermal experience at Strom Spa, Nuns Island. Bra D Full by Assan Cosmetics has a special offer on its advanced cosmetic design and made in Quebec. Save 50% at the movies. 8 tickets only $50 at participating Guzzo Cinemas. Salon Blush offers a makeover in time for the holidays without breaking the bank. Shop and save at shopeco.ca.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Real Estate Show with Terry Kalakos, president of Northeast Mortgages and chartered mortgage broker. I am Chantal Desjardins, and the Facebook Live messages are coming in fast and furious. Now, Marav, the better half of Terry, who's going to be our tech guru throughout the course of the show, next time is actually going to come on the air with us and is going to read some messages. But today, she says she hasn't combed her hair yet, so for some reason she can't go on the air. Let's read a couple text messages. So, which one did we want? So, hi, my 5-year term on my mortgage is up in April. So you mean I'll have 2% on top of this?
No. What it means is that when the bank is actually going to be qualifying the mortgage, they're going to be using 2% above whatever the contract rate is. So, for example, if the client is getting a rate of 3%, they're basically adding 2% to that just to qualify it. That doesn't mean that that's going to be the rate. That's the silly thing about this whole thing, right? I mean, people are taking 7-year terms, 10-year terms, and all of a sudden they're adding 2% on top of that. Makes no sense.
It's crazy.
Yeah, don't get me started on our government. Please don't get me started on it.
It'll be on his blog because Terry loves the blog. We just got a message from John. Let's read this. My mortgage is up for renewal in February. I don't have a large balance. I can go to the bank with no penalty if I lock it in, as it falls within the 6-month window. Should I negotiate a 2 or 3 year mortgage?
Yeah, I mean, if his mortgage is basically up for renewal in February, and he's got a small balance, and he's going to probably end up be done with it in about 3 years. Yeah, why not go in, negotiate your 3-year? Of course, if there's other stuff that he needs to do to it, so if he needs to refinance it, that's a different conversation. If you need to renew your mortgage, you can do it next year. The bank is not going to all of a sudden say, hey, you don't qualify, give us our money back. It doesn't work like that. If you qualify for the mortgage, the bank will renew you. Sorry, if your mortgage is up for renewal and you're not planning on doing anything else, you're just planning on renewing, they'll renew you. It's when you need to do any type of change. So if you're refinancing, if you're selling and buying something else, now there's a change. Then you have to requalify for it.
Right. Yeah. We just got this one. Terry, are you paid a commission by the bank institution that you place the mortgage with? Are you saying that some institutions at certain times don't increase their remuneration to your firm to incentivize? Is that a word?
Incentivize.
You to refer them more business.
Or perhaps reward your firm additionally by you reaching a certain amount of mortgage business with them. All lenders right across the board pay mortgage brokers the same. What mortgage brokers are, where the difference comes in, is in the length of time that people will take mortgages. So, for example, pretty much all lenders will pay the same thing on a 5-year fix. They'll pay the same thing on a 4-year. They'll pay the same thing on a 3-year, 2-year, 1 years. The commissions tend to go up once we go into the 7 and 10-year mortgages. They go up quite a bit. But if I look at my portfolio of clients, the amount of clients that I've actually put on a 7 and a 10 year are literally a handful. And we're talking about thousands of clients spanning over a decade. And it's literally a very, very, very small amount. And when I say a very small amount, I'm talking like 10 clients.
Right.
Okay. At the most. So it's not in my interest. It's not in a smart mortgage broker's interest to base themselves on what the remuneration is. Any mortgage broker, real estate agent, insurance person that will focus on remuneration as opposed to focusing on their client's interest are not in it for the long run. They're not in it to make sure that their clients are taken care of, right?
Okay, so now we know that mortgage broker is the way to go,
Absolutely.
not necessarily the bank. What makes your agency different than other ones out there?
Okay, so
go, Terry, go.
So when you look at Northeast, right? I mean, we're what's called a multidisciplinary firm. So we have in-house mortgage brokers, we have in-house real estate agents, we have in-house, real estate brokers. The name has changed. I get flack every time I say real estate agent. Anyways, so in-house mortgage brokers, in-house real estate brokers, in-house life insurance brokers, financial advisors, we have notaries. We have everything under one roof. So when a client comes in to see us, we're able to look at their entire situation in a very holistic, we take a very holistic approach. So for example, a first-time home buyer, when they come to see us, we don't just say, hey, you know what, your best rate that we can offer you is this.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with the rate. The rate is important. I think Northeast right now, I mean, we push $200 million of mortgages a year. You're going to get the rate,
right?
All right? The rate is a given. It's everything else that goes along with it.
I agree.
Right?
Like, you took care of me. Like, I walked in there with zero knowledge about buying a place, and I got the full package.
Yeah.
Like, you broke it down for me.
That's it. And the cornerstone of our company is education, right? So the first thing that we do, this is why I do these radio shows, right? So the first thing that we do is educate the public. Once the public is educated, once our clients are educated, then they could actually make an informed decision. It's not about saving 5 or 10 basis points. You know, if I save you 5 or 10 basis points on your mortgage, great. You could buy an extra cup of coffee in the month, right? This is what it really comes down to when you talk about dollars and cents.
Right.
But if I educate you and I help you structure everything else around it, you're going to save tens of thousands of dollars, you know?
Yeah.
And that's, you know, we have clients over a 5-year span, they're $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 ahead of the game, you know? So
that's great.
Yeah.
We still have a lot of text and a lot of Facebook messages, but you are going to have a very busy afternoon, right? Because you are going to respond to all of the Facebook messages that we did not get to this afternoon.
I will.
And Marav, next time we will have you actually on the air reading the Facebook messages. She's giving me a glare right now. Coming up,
she gave you a finger.
She gave me a finger. I don't know. I wasn't going to say it.
It wasn't that finger.
It wasn't that finger. It was definitely like the pinky.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but she gave me the pinky finger.
You've been pinky.
Oh, well then, that's a good start to the show. We're going to be back next Sunday on the Real Estate Show at 1 o'clock. And what will we be talking about then?
So next week, we're going to be going over the financing triangle. So this is part of the education.
The mortgage financing triangle.
That's right,
Sounds
exactly.
kinky.
It really is. And oddly enough, there's 3 of us in the studio.
Like a triangle.
See, I'm just saying, putting it out there.
That was my mind blowing. So tell us, what is it? Tell us about it. 30 seconds or less. Tell me about this mortgage financing triangle.
So we're going to be looking at the different elements that are required for you to actually qualify for a mortgage and how the new rules are going to impact the financing triangle.
Well, you did it in about 15 seconds.
You see
still
that?
15 seconds
See,
you could continue, but that's
yeah.
cool.
My wife has a problem with my speed too sometimes.
Oh!
Talking about that.
Now that we've got the show completely off the rails, visit northeastmortgages.ca and give them a call at 514-680-4674. That was Terry Kalakos, president of Northeast Mortgages and chartered mortgage broker. Have a great Sunday, everybody.
Cuisine West Island Kitchens is unlike other kitchen showrooms around. They manufacture all of their own cabinetry right here in Montreal. From design to installation, let the team at Cuisine West Island offer you